We are live.
From Minooka, Illinois. It is Minooka, Illinois, live.
Live from Farmers Headquarters.
Live from Syracuse HQ.
Syracuse HQs.
Yeah. I want Hugh to buy my insurance.
I would actually, if that became our slogan.
Yeah.
But
That being
anyway.
said, welcome to our podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, finally, we're here. We're here. We did tease it months ago.
Yeah, back in like December.
Yeah, for real. And well, I mean, to be fair, when we said, new episode, starting up, next Friday, what we meant is, next Friday of next week of next month of next year.
Exactly.
So we're right on time.
Yeah. You guys are late.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah, you guys got ahead of yourselves.
Yeah.
But here we
Sorry, we know you've been waiting for us.
Yeah, just casual insurance company lying.
Can't trust us. Sorry, we've just been in here just laughing and having fun this whole time.
Off.
Yeah, exactly. Doing nothing.
No, like the last few months, we're finally in a spot where we actually can do this, which feels great. But it's been a journey to get here. But great things happening at Syracuse Farmers Insurance. We're just ready to hit the ground running and help the community out.
Yes,
especially
we are.
with this.
Yes, we are. Honestly, I think it's important that the community does stay educated on insurance because, what's one thing that everybody has in common about insurance? You have to have it.
You need it.
Right. You are governmentally, legally obligated to hold insurance on your belongings. And I understand that, if you have to have it, 9 times out of 10, it's something that you don't want.
No, for sure.
But just because it's something that you don't want, and I understand it's an extra expense that you have to pay for, doesn't mean that you shouldn't learn.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Learn about
because
it.
Every single day I get people that I'm quoting and I'm talking to them about the coverage and they're like, no one's ever even mentioned that to me. Or you ask them a simple, has anyone ever explained to you what these numbers mean? No, I have no idea.
Yes.
So it's so many people know so little about it, and you absolutely need to.
Right.
Which is what brings us here. To make sure that when, at the end of the day, you are resting insured.
Yes. Speaking of resting insured, I feel like one of the main things that we should really be talking about, and what everybody is saying right now, is why are my auto rates so high?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's like the number one question that we get on a daily basis is why is everything going up? Why is that so expensive?
Yep.
And so let's talk about it. Number one thing that I wanted to talk about right off the bat was vehicle history. This goes back to going into that dealership. They're going to walk all over you. No more than them when you walk in there. Know the car's facts. Know the car facts. Not sponsored, but know your car facts, because here's the thing: what your vehicle has been through. And if it's been in 2 accidents prior, the vehicle's compromised.
Yep. So
your rates for that are going to be higher. And a lot of people don't understand that. You have anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, sure. No, of course I do, because I actually used to work at a car dealership, and I mean, Alec knows this because I literally cannot shut up about it. Yeah. It was just such a crazy time in my life, and I learned a lot. But one reason why I wanted to get out of there is because, let's face it, everybody has this prenotation about car dealerships that they're trying to scam you. Yeah, they don't want you to look at the Carfax. How many times have you actually gone into a dealership and been like, okay, I want to look at this pre-owned car, and A, the Carfax are either on the window, or B, they actually hand you a copy of the Carfax before you go test drive a car. They don't. And the reason why they don't do that is because they don't want you to see the accidents on there, because everything is reported. They don't want you to see any minor damage. They don't want you to see, if it's had hail damage before or anything, or been in a flood. They don't want you to see that. And so often I find myself here where I have somebody on the phone and I'm quoting them, and they're like, well, I just bought this new car. It's an older vehicle, and I want full coverage. I can't imagine it's going to be super expensive.
Red flag.
And I quote them, and it's kind of pricey. And they're like, oh my gosh, why is it so high? How come everywhere I'm going, I'm getting pricey quotes on this older car? And then I go and I look into the vehicle history on my end, and I say, oh, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, did you not see that the Carfax, that there were 2 accidents on this car before you purchased it? What? No, I had no idea. And it's like, you guys, if this car has been in an accident before, think about it. If you have repaired parts, if you have, new internals, right? Let's say your car was damaged and they had to put a new engine in your car. Okay, if they had to put a new engine in your car and all they put was a new engine in your car, then what's going to happen is your car has a brand new engine, but your pre-owned vehicle may have 80,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
That new engine has no miles on it. The rest of the parts have 80,000 miles on it. Things are going to start going wrong.
Oh, for sure.
It's a sequential thing. What happens if when you went to the body shop, they didn't do the work properly and you're driving one day and all of a sudden your fender flies off? That has happened before, guys. If your fender flies off on the highway and it flies in the back of somebody else, I guarantee you, especially if they have a dash cam, you're going to be on the hook for that. And you're going to be filing an insurance
because all of these things are tied to the VIN number.
All of them.
Like your VIN number is like your social security number.
It is.
Like and your driver's license number. Like all it has a record. It traces back throughout the entire existence of that car, and anything that's happened to that is going to come up. Which actually brings me to my next point: what you drive. Ooh. Because you were bringing up parts a lot.
Yes.
People that drive older vehicles, there comes a certain time where your rates are going to start going up on those older vehicles, even if it does have a perfect like history,
right?
And that's because those parts are starting to get outdated, and they're going to be hard to find.
Yep. Way harder to find. You have to ship them from overseas.
People, and it's a dated process of like repairing that type of like the part for the vehicle and all these things. But then also what you drive is as in the brand.
Yeah.
If you drive a sports fast car, you might be a super safe driver. That's great. I love to hear it.
Right.
But not everybody who drives that sports car is.
Right.
You are one person in the statistics of that car because, piggybacking on this point, audits are performed every year on all vehicles.
Right.
And so you can be a super safe driver in a, Lamborghini.
Right.
But odds are if someone's driving a Lamborghini, they're going 120 down the highway.
Right.
And you're just one person. So unfortunately, you're being lumped in with that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you fall under that like stereotype when it comes to insurance. And like I also wanted to talk about like the color of your car. So if you know me, you know that I drive a supersonic red Toyota Camry. Mm-hmm. When I had purchased my vehicle, my insurance only went up by $7 a month. And the reason why it went up that $7 was because the color of my car was red. Because reds, yellows.
It's because it's red, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Reds, yellows, blues. I'm pretty sure all of those are considered racing colors. Right. Mm-hmm. And if they're considered racing colors to an insurance company, they're going to think, okay, well, if they wanted this color, they want it for a reason.
Which also, a lot of people don't realize that statistically, if you drive like a bright colored car, like a red or a green, you are like 10 times more likely to get pulled over.
Right. 100%. Because you stick out like a sore thumb on the road.
Kind of like you today.
Yes.
Yeah.
Always.
You're really sticking out in the pod.
I always stick out like a sore thumb. Always. Did you guys
baby, you're not an eyesore.
Yeah. Did you guys see my vlog? At the Connect at 4, Plugging.
Perfect segue, because the next thing I want to talk about is accidents and tickets.
Yes.
You drive that red car, you're going to have all these tickets. Those are on your record for 3 years, and those are kind of 3 to 5. More severe things last 5 years, you'll know. You might want to add more on that.
Yeah.
But you might want to have that conversation with your spouse. Or
yes.
Just a funny thing is like a lot of times when we have to run the motor vehicle reports and like say it makes the premium go up a little bit, and they're like, well, why'd that happen? And I look and it's like, well, it looks like your wife or your husband had a speeding ticket, early last year, and they're like, oh, I didn't know about that, and I'm just like, well, sorry for ruining the dinner tonight,
Yeah. Makes it a real awkward conversation.
Yeah, I'm like, oh,
my bad. Yeah, I kind of want to touch on this, especially as an agent. This bothers me so much that I literally have to snatch the mic off my shirt so I can talk about this because it bothers me so much. If you are calling and you are getting a quote from us and you're asking questions and I'm asking questions, I'm asking you these questions because I'm going to find out anyway.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
I'm asking you these questions because no matter what, I am going to find out, and I don't want to waste your time, and I don't want to waste my time either, okay? Mm-hmm. If I ask you, hey...
Have you not wasting your time?
Have you had any tickets or accidents within the last 3 to 5 years? No. Okay, and then I get to the end of the quote, I give you the price and you're good with that. And then I go to validate it. And validating means that I pull all of your motor vehicle reports. Mm-hmm. I'm going to find out. And then guess what? Your quote's going to skyrocket, and I just wasted both of our times because you lied to me.
Because that's what that's what I was saying when I said heavy on the not wasting your time.
Yeah.
It's because those are the things we ask in the very beginning of the conversation. We won't find out if you're lying or not until we're at the very end, and you might love the price, and then it doesn't matter anymore.
Right. Exactly.
It doesn't matter anymore.
Exactly. So please, just be honest.
Right.
Just be honest.
We learned it in kindergarten.
Yeah.
The golden rule, no?
Yeah. And that kind of leads into the next point as well, which is where you live.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I don't know, talk a little bit more about that.
Well, like price of living and obviously is very different in like a lot of different places.
Yes.
And a heavy part of the rates are determined by your zip code. So if you do live in a pretty expensive area, very good chance your insurance rates are going to follow that.
Right.
That same track.
Right. Especially because if you think about it, there's more expensive cars in the area. There's more expensive homes in the area. If you have, if there's an accident in that area, more than likely you're looking at high value, high ticket items that, are going to be damaged in something like that. And if you think about let's think about people in Chicago. God bless Cook County. I'm so sorry.
Oh God. No, thank you.
I'm so sorry to Cook County because you guys are just cooked. If you want me to put it frankly.
I gotta go. God, that's just some corn on the pod. That's some corn on the pod right there.
I'm so sorry, Cook County, because your rates are always going to be ridiculous.
Yeah.
They're always going to be crazy. And it's because some people in Chicago are crazy,
Oh yeah.
More accidents.
To put it frank.
Yeah. More accidents.
Not to cook you too much.
More theft, and unfortunately where you live, you do get rated based off of everyone around you.
There are everybody around you, but then there's so many things that factor into rates. I mean, we're just scratching the surface. The absolute needs to knows.
Yep.
But I mean, also like your credit,
yes.
your payment history.
Yep.
You have what's called a previous insured report.
I do want to talk about that though, because a lot of people who, one thing that I understand more than ever is that times are tough. The money's short. I totally get it. But if you are missing your payment every month and you're just barely making it at that grace period before they actually cancel you, your rates are going to go up.
Yeah.
Your rates are going to go up.
Which is not fair. Don't even get it twisted.
Right.
I hate it.
Yep.
And I mean, I can only call in to farmers and go to bat for people so much before I finally accept the fact that there's nothing they can do to change that.
Right.
But it doesn't feel fair, but it's the system.
Yep.
That is at
yep.
be.
And I agree with you. It's not fair. It's not right. But unfortunately in the position that we're in, you have to look at it from both the consumer standpoint, because we're consumers too.
Oh,
Trust me. We get it.
We feel it, girl.
We get it. And that's one thing why I love my job, because I love being able to, call in, and go to bat for people and be like, look, like, let's be human here for a second.
Oh, for sure.
Let's be human here for a second. And what can we do to make this customer's day a little bit easier?
Yeah. And I'm not afraid to tell some old rich guy to like maybe take it easy.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Your pocket's not hurting.
Yeah, can we just get this reinstated, please?
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah.
I got people I'm representing in your name.
Yeah.
So
exactly. Alec, do you have one more like fun fact for the people? Auto insurance fun fact.
Oh, just the one thing I wanted to make sure that we signed this off with is just a little tip is always just make sure that the person in your household with the best credit score is the primary named insured. And I don't care if that's bowing it to your spouse and saying, you know what, you do take the rings, dear leader, but and maybe setting your pride aside. But that's really important. It's when you're going to get the best bang for your buck.
Right, exactly. Now, to piggyback off of that a little bit, I do want to say no matter what, they still rate you off of both credit scores. However, for some reason, like to kind of give you a little bit from our side of things, when we quote you, we more than likely will quote you a couple of different ways because like there's a button in our system where we can quote one person on top and the other on bottom and then flip them,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes it genuinely just has so much to do with your rate.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. I've seen policies take a $300 decrease just because I put, the wife or the husband on top.
Oh yeah.
And it doesn't make any sense considering they do go based off of both credit scores. But hey, if you're getting quotes from people, even if they aren't us, if you're getting quotes from other carriers, don't be afraid to say, hey, right now I'm the primary, but my husband has better credit, or vice versa, and see if they'll quote it a couple of different ways, because more than likely you'll save yourself, a pretty penny, or at
Yeah.
least a couple bucks.
Yeah. I mean, there's opportunity for savings in a lot of areas, but that's like the easiest one. Yeah.
Yes.
Because I mean, like we went through all these. I mean, it's way harder to change the way you live than to change who's at the top of the insurance policy.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And there is one fun fact that I actually have that I want to talk about, and that I do talk about with my clients sometimes, is for roadside assistance. To extend your package, at least with farmers insurance themselves, to extend your package from standard roadside assistance to enhanced roadside assistance is more than likely $7 maybe.
Oh yeah. It's never.
It's so minimal.
Mm-hmm.
It's so minimal, and you will get yourself a tow from 40 miles to 100 miles. I can't tell you how many times I've had people, oh no, I just want the standard. I don't need it. I even have AAA. I'm not going very far. Okay, no problem. It comes, they need a tow. Oh, I need to go to the dealership and it's 46 miles away. Okay, well, you're going to have to come out of your pocket a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, why? Yeah. I pay for this. Hey, guys, I get it. But that also falls back to make sure you know what you're covered for.
Exactly.
Make sure you know what you're covered for, because,
And you would be, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. It's just, insurance sucks until you need it, right? When you need it,
yeah.
When you need it, it's great to have. And sometimes, yeah, paying the $7 right now, yeah, you could use that $7 to get you some food somewhere, but you're gonna end up paying an extra $100 if you need to get towed a few more miles, or instead of paying the extra $30 for $100 glass deductible, then you're gonna end up paying $500 or $1,000 to get your glass replaced. You never know what's gonna happen, and sometimes that extra 10, 20, $30 will really save yourself so much more in the long run. Like, we just found somebody, for example, they're new homeowners here in Minooka, and she was talking about an endorsement on our policy for equipment line coverage. It's for like the bigger ticket items in your home, like AC, furnace, stuff like that, if it were to bust. And I found out, in order for us to add that endorsement on, $55.
Mm-hmm.
It's a $55 endorsement for the whole year. And if your AC goes, which is thousands of dollars to fix, if your furnace goes, which is hundreds of dollars to fix, that $55 just saved you so much in the future. And I think that endorsement is imperative. I mean, we'll talk about it in another episode.
Yeah. There's two major points that I wrote down based on the little sermon you just went on. Uh-huh. Beautiful soliloquy, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
But two things I wanted to touch on, that is like the biggest things about working in this industry that's the hardest is there's no tangible sale.
Yeah.
People walk out of our office not feeling that they got anything.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what you got until you need it.
Right.
Exactly. And then the second thing is, you would be amazed at how much it barely changes the premium based on how much you increase your coverage. Mm-hmm. And like you said, we're going to talk about rates, especially in auto insurance, because there's so much to it. In regards to like 25, 50, 100, 300, you would be amazed at how much upping your coverage from 100, 300 to 250, 500 doesn't do much, because like we've laid out throughout this whole episode, the biggest things that are hitting the premium: where you live, what you drive,
right?
Your history, all of those other things are already factored in. We just got to figure out how much we're going to cover you for when you need it.
Right. And to piggyback off of that, one thing that people don't know is the higher limits you have now, the less expensive your insurance will be in the future. I can't tell you how many times people who have 250, 500, or 500 limits will come over with us 3 cars, all full coverage, all with rental reimbursement, the maxed out roadside assistance for like $500 for 6 months.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous because that
sometimes I feel like I'm lying.
I know. I can't tell you how many times I have to quote people and I have to say, hey, I'm going to ask you a few more questions because I'm genuinely getting such a good rate right now that I think I did something wrong.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's just because they have good coverage now. If you have good coverage now, you will save so much more money in the future. And you'll even, it's even better because the higher limits that you have, like, you don't realize how fast accidents can get.
Oh yeah.
You will never know how expensive things could get, especially like if you rear end, let's say you rear end some old lady on Division Street, right? If she goes to the hospital because her neck hurts, oh my gosh. If she sues you, you're looking at millions. If you don't have enough coverage, that's coming out of your pocket, sweet cheeks.
Coming out of your wages, coming out of your pockets, coming out of your
ears.
Home.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. They could take your home. They could take
Which we're gonna get into that. Which I feel like this is a perfect way to sign this off.
Yes.
There's so much more to come. There's so much more that we could sit in here. We could talk about this for hours. Girl, we can yap and yap and yap.
Yep.
And until our tongues fall out.
Exactly. And, we understand that insurance maybe isn't the most interesting, but we hope that...
But we're interesting.
Yeah, we hope that we are interesting enough to, make this learning experience a little bit easier for you, because I understand that, like, I own an agency and we're here and we're selling policies, but like, we're not salespeople, we're educators.
Oh yeah.
We want to make sure that you understand what you're purchasing, whether it be from us, whether it be from any other company around here. We want to make sure that you know what you're doing, just in case your agent doesn't. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll say it. Because you know what? If the agent's not going to help you, nobody will. So
exactly,
we will.
Yeah. So stick with us. Stick with us. More into the future. Do we even know what day these are gonna be dropping? Have we gotten that far yet?
I think we should do Rest Insured Fridays. I mean, you guys tell us what you think. Do Fridays work better for you so you can sit down and watch them, on lunch break, or when you're, I don't know, eating dinner with the family? If you're eating dinner with your family and you're watching this, get a life. Woo! Please don't eat dinner or watch this with your family. Yeah, but
this is not a TV dinner.
Yeah.
Dinner
Actually,
pod.
You know what? Matter of fact, get the family involved. Let's talk about life insurance for a second.
Ooh.
You ain't ready for that. Y'all ain't ready.
To be continued.
But anyway, guys, you let us know if there's a day that works best for you, and you guys are like, I would prefer that you guys drop these this day. You let us know, and we'll make that work for you. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's a wrap on episode 1.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. It's been a long time coming, but
we're going to go now.
Yeah, it's Taylor Swift. She hates when I talk about Taylor Swift.
All the time.
Sing Taylor Swift.
It doesn't stop.
Well, consider let's get pushing back this podcast, weeks and weeks and weeks. It's just Taylor, pushing back the release of Rep TV. You don't even know what that means.
I know nothing.
But the girlies on Facebook will know the lore.
Goodbye, guys.
Anyway, bye.